Hello YouTube and welcome to today's video. In today's video we are gonna watch Besides Challenger Coach. Basically has a bunch of coaching VODs on his YouTube that are available for free, and I found this one that got uploaded today, which is with Trundle in jungle, and I basically wanted to take a look at it and basically say if I agree or if I disagree with the stuff that he is saying. So the video is 28 minutes long. Not sure if you're gonna watch the entire thing. But prepare yourself for a long video, but let's just jump right into it.
Pretty good clear. It was fast, it was very decisive. I like this. The thing that I didn't like is that you're using the potion very early. Like right now, for example.
Let's see, there's a bunch of text here. Although Trundle played the game fairly well, there were many macro mistakes holding him and other low elo players back. Okay.
For example, you're using the potion, but for what, right? Like you have full HP. You should use the potion when you like this HP, when you really need it, right? So
Yep,
I didn't
I
really
agree.
like this. You didn't really use the potion correctly. Also, right here, when you're going for the camp, try to track the enemy jungle. Look where he starts. So he obviously starts on bot lane. We need to ping danger.
I did ping it.
Yeah.
You
did ping it?
If you after the when I'm taking wolves, maybe I don't know. At some point I did ping it. I didn't ping with the danger, just the blue one.
Yes, the blue one is not good. Yes, the blue one is not good because that one is never going to be listened by anyone, right? Like the danger one is the most scary one, and people are going to have to follow that one. So right here on Trundle, usually it's 5 camps.
Okay, so I like the fact that he mentioned this with the pot. My epic pen is blue, by the way, and his is yellow, just so I'm not using the same color as him. So I like the fact that he mentions the fact that health potion he shouldn't have used on this amount of HP, and the fact that we know that enemy jungle started bot, and we know that because enemy bot lane decided to show late. One thing though that, I don't know if this was just cut out of the video, but I think one thing that has to be mentioned is basically the team composition. And the entire like analysis of the game, I think, is missing. So I'm kinda hoping to see if I can find a spot where he presses tab. When does he press tab? Here.
Because it took.
Okay, so here. So in top lane we have Garen versus Akali, and we have in jungle Echo versus Trundle. In mid lane we have Malphite versus Kiana, and in bot lane we have MF Sona versus Kai'Sa and Thresh. So when I would take a look at this, then I would realize that, okay, so enemy team are all immobile pre-6. But the one that's kind of mobile is Garen because he has his Q, meaning that he's probably the hardest one to gank out of all these lanes. Malphite at level 6 can escape super easily just by pressing R, but on top of that, we should realize that Malphite is a tank. And then I take a look at bot lane, and I see that I have a Thresh with CC, and enemy team is immobile. And then I take a look, mid lane has his stun, and Akali has no CC. So for me, I would not be pathing from bot to top, because this lane does not seem like the best lane to gank, or the easiest one to gank. And I actually instead would have started on top side and pathed down towards bot. And then I would basically play with my Thresh, hope that he hooks either the Sona or the MF, and basically look to get kills through that. And even if my Thresh misses the hook, then it's all good. He can maybe lantern, so Trundle can press pillar, and then it's a forced flash every single time, right? So I don't know if this was cut out of the session, or if it's simply just not part of one of the sessions, but I think this should be mentioned. And if this was mentioned, the conclusion should have been path from top towards bot and not from bot towards top. But yeah, let's just go back here.
Also, you have 3 camps option.
I didn't ping with the danger, just the blue one.
Yes, the blue one is not good. Yes, the blue one is not good because that one is never going to be listened by anyone, right? Like the danger one is the most scary one, and people are going to have to follow that one. So right here on Trundle, usually it's 5 camps into clearing into top lane, right? 6 camps, I don't recommend it to you on Trundle. It's kind of slow. You're going to lose the prio on Scuttle.
Yeah, exactly.
But also you have 3 camps option, like blue.
So yes, I agree with 5 camp clear, and the reason why is because Trundle is really slow at clearing Raptors before Tiamat, so I think 5 camp clear is the best. You could argue that 6 camp clear is still okay due to the fact that raptors are still more valuable than 1 scuttle crab in terms of both, well, in terms of experience it's more worth, in terms of gold it's about the same. But if you're trading 2 scuttle crabs for 1 raptor camp, then you're losing out on gold, but you're gaining about the same experience. So yeah, I mean, arguably 5 camp is the best, right? And then he mentions that you can also 3 camp clear, which I agree with. You can just do, well, we should have been pathing from top to bot, so it should have been red, blue, grump, but here it's blue, grump into red, and then into a topside gank.
Blue, grump, red, gank. And in this game, it's really good. Really good, because you have the Akali on top lane, high volatility matchup, mid lane Kiana, high volatility matchup. So what?
Yes, both Akali and Kiana can snowball super hard, but you need to take a look at what champion are they playing against. Can Akali super easily snowball against the Garen? I don't think so. I think that Garen most likely will actually be able to tank and survive throughout most of the laning phase against Akali. And it also depends on Akali's build, because you can go the Assassin build, but you can also go the Kim tank build. Then we take a look at mid lane, where we have Kiana versus Malphite. So Malphite, he played with grass, meaning that he most likely is going to build tank, and you're playing as Kiana. Kiana's probably not going to snowball against a Malphite. You could get Kiana ahead, but the reason for Kiana getting ahead is not to kill the Malphite. It's actually just to get mid lane ahead, so the mid laner can, together with you, go to bot lane. So you get Kiana ahead, so that Kiana can move to bot lane, and you also move to bot lane. It's not to kill the Malphite, because that's simply not a good strategy to have. So yes, high volatility, you're correct, but you should also take a look at who are you playing against. Is it something that they can snowball against, or is it actually just tanks? In this situation, well, it's a bruiser and it's a tank, and I don't think that you can snowball that much in them.
Right here, he will look mid, look top.
Compared to, oh, you take a look at bot lane, they have MF and Sona. Every time Thresh hits a hook, it should be a kill, right? And every time they don't have flash, it's also be a kill, because you are playing Trundle with Pillar. That's probably the best lane to gank.
Let's see. And if they are hard fighting and if they are low HP, a challenger player will be like, hey, like here, this is not gankable, so you don't need to go to red buff and gank. This is not gankable, but you should look top lane right now. Okay, you looked at top lane. Good. It was pretty fast, too fast. You should look for a minimum 2 seconds so you can see the wave state and both of the HPs. But
doesn't have to be 2 seconds. It's legit your own pace. Some people can do it with F keys in a split second if they're like pro players, and lower elo players might need to take a look at it a little bit longer. So just get a good look at the lane state. That's it. Don't put a time on it. It's not like you have to look for 2 seconds, because 2 seconds is quite a long time. On top of that, we should realize that Trundle ganks are not really that good before you get level 3. So looking for ganks before level 3 on Trundle is not that good, but it's just a good habit of looking at the lane state, because in very few situations people are all inning level 1, level 2, and then the jungler can quickly go in and just press flash Q, right, as Trundle. In those situations it's nice to looking at the lanes, but typically you just want to look at level 3. Then he's saying that, oh, he should be looking at top lane. So here I think he should definitely look at mid lane, because that's basically the lane he's gonna be closest to after clearing the wolves. And if he then says, well, with the free camp clear he should be taking the red buff, then I would take a look at top lane to get a look at the lane state before I do the red buff. Then I'll do it during me clearing the red buff and after I clear the red buff.
If they were low,
but I'll take a bigger look at... There should be more focus on mid than on top.
Going to red buff and to going to gank. So this is what you should consider. Just adapting your pathing based on what is happening on the lane.
And why did you say Malphite is not gankable?
Well, the reason why Malphite is not gankable is because you don't have E, and Kiana's still level 1, and Malphite is full HP. But that's the student. I'm just explaining why it's not gankable. So let's see what the code says.
I said that Malphite is not gankable in the sense that it's not an urgency right now to go red buff fast and gank him. So in the sense that yes, Malphite will be gankable, but just do it clear normally, because it's not like he's gank.
If you wanted to gank mid lane like urgently, in the sense that I want to gank right now, then it should be because you wouldn't have to put a point in your E to kill Malphite. Then he would be like this HP or something, and you just kill, right? In the sense that if you're talking about, oh, I want to get level 3 and then urgently gank, then it's faster for you to clear the wolves and then go mid lane than going all the way to red buff and then go all the way to mid lane. That route is just a lot longer and takes longer time.
Now, like fast, do it. No, he's full HP. We don't need to gank him fast. So that's what I meant. It's not an urgency.
I agree.
It's not.
This is correct.
It's not a necessity right now. You can do it after you kill your camps, but again, it's not an urgency.
Okay. And another question: what happens if, for say, let's say, as I go clear my red camp, my red buff, and then Akali is too pushed?
Okay, let's see.
So I will answer this first and see if the coach agrees. So he's saying that what if I then do my red buff and then Akali is pushing in the lane? Well, then the only option you have is, well, you can still gank top lane, but you can't do a traditional gank. You can then dive, but you shouldn't dive because we know that Echo started on bot, meaning he's also pathing towards top. So we know that Echo is going to be around top side. Therefore, diving is risky. So then we can take a look, well, can we do a traditional gank on mid lane or can we make a dive onto mid lane? And again, diving in mid lane would not be good because we know that enemy jungler will be pathing into topside jungle and he will be close both to top and mid lane. So making a risky play in the sense that diving is risky, you shouldn't go for. So if the gank is free, then you would go for the mid lane gank. And same thing for top lane. If it's gankable, then you gank. If not, then you full clear. So what would you do? After red buff, you go clear your Crux. And after the Crux, then you can either go to your Scuttercrab or to the Raptors. And then you can reset, path towards bot side again, look for a bot lane gank, or just full clear from bot to top again.
If you're going to clear your red buff,
in this
then
situation.
Akali is to push, then Malphite is low HP in the tower.
Yeah.
We can dive.
Wait, because at this moment I thought, okay.
Yeah, even if Malphite is low HP, do not dive, because we know
So
Echo's gonna be there.
my top lane is pushing, my mid lane is gonna get pushed, and I still don't know what's gonna happen bot lane. So what I should do is probably clear my bot, gank mid, because I already know that it's gonna be gankable. Then gank bot if I can, take Scuttle, and then move to top lane and see.
So I agree with the fact that clear bot side camp, meaning clear wolves, into looking for a mid gank. Yes, I agree with that part. And again, this is the student talking. And then I would not go for bot gank, because what is going to happen is if you show on mid, then what a good Echo player will do is he's going to take a look at you. He'll realize, okay, I have 12 CS, I have my blue buff only. That means the entire top side is up. That means Echo starts on his bot side, moves to his top side. Then you're showing mid lane, and then you're leaving towards bot. What is Echo gonna do? Either gonna gank top lane or invade your topside jungle. So I agree with the first part of ganking mid lane, but I don't agree with ganking bot lane after.
That's fine. The problem is that you're going to lose a lot of time if you do that. So right now, you don't know that the mid is gankable. That's the thing. So right now, you're thinking in hindsight. So at the moment...
Yeah, he needs to take a look at mid lane first, before we can guarantee.
How can we say that this lane is gankable?
By the minions.
Well, it's not gankable now, again, because Trundle is not level 3. If Trundle was level 3, this lane is still gankable, even though Malphite is full HP. It's probably just gonna lead to a flash, which is typically not the best. Like, ganks is typically good if you can kill and get to push the wave.
I actually understood it by the positioning of Malphite and by the minions.
Yes, so
because I can already tell that he's pushing and Kiana can do anything about it.
Yes, the thing is, this can change very, 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 very fast in like 3 seconds. So all of those states that you're seeing right now can change completely in like 3 seconds. He can also go for the ward. So when you're going for a gank, it should be reliable. It should be at least a 60% guaranteed gank.
Okay.
If it's 50-50, you would rather farm, because remember that it...
So this I don't get whatsoever. A 60% gank, I don't know, I don't even know what that means. A 50-50 means that the gank can go well, but it can also not go well. And in that sense, it's better to go for something that's safe rather than something that's risky. So a 50-50, that's risky. That's basically coin flipping. And we don't want to coin flip. So the 50-50% part I agree with. We don't want to flip. We want to go for safe plays and plays that should more or less be guaranteed. But putting a percentage like 60%, what does this mean? Does that mean 6 out of 10 times you should gank? Or does that mean that, oh, I should be ganking because it's slightly favored towards working or not working? Well, no. You should gank mid lane if you know that you can get something from it. So if you know, okay, I can get a flash and set up for a return gank onto mid lane, well, sure, then go for the mid lane gank. Or if you know, okay, Malphite doesn't have flash or he's low on HP and I know I can kill him because I have my E and I have flash and I have everything to kill him, then go for the gank. Don't go for farming because you know a good gank is better than farming. But putting a percentage like this, I mean, then I might just put 71.68% gankable. Like, what can you guys use for that? Nothing.
You didn't really take your camps.
But I like
So
the 50-50
right
part.
now that mid is gankable. And top lane, still it's pushing, but we don't know if it's gankable. Like, at this point, we can't say. We can't say.
Okay, so you're saying that I should try to concentrate on the winning condition at most, and then adapt from there.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So in the early game, you have 2 win conditions, which is Qiyana and Akali. You should basically play around them.
In the sense of them being good in early game, I mean, yes, they're good at snowballing, but as we already mentioned, it depends on the matchup. So if you get Akali and Qiyana ahead, it's very hard for them to snowball 1v1 against Malphite, unless if they're like really far ahead.
And then, but after the second clear, you basically have to adapt the win conditions and play with the ones that are strong. So right now, I'm not entirely sure why you went on the mid lane here, because it didn't look like, look at this.
No, I was looking at the map and I looked there.
Yes, but the map doesn't tell you the wave states. The map doesn't tell you how many minions he has. The map doesn't tell you if you warded already. The map doesn't tell you.
Yeah, you need to look
you can also
either by using F keys or look with mouse.
And also the minions you can't see it. So here you're blindly ganking. Look at this. So you saw that Malphite is pushing, but you didn't really see it at what degree he's pushing. Because look at this guy. He's more stupid than normally. Like, look at this.
Yeah, Malphite is trolling.
So if he was right here, just warding first, this wouldn't really be gankable. So this is just a flip. So what you should do next time is that you should look right now, you should look mid lane and see the wave state before ganking.
Okay.
Because right now, like, this gank worked because we're playing in like low platinum. Like, look at this guy. Like, what is he doing here? Right? If he was smart, he would play here, he would just back off and you're not going to gank him. And not only that, he's overextending, but look at this. Like, this is just like he's level 2 and look where he's playing.
Yeah.
So that's why this gank works. So what I will do here, I will look at mid lane, and if I see that he's pushing, then I'm just going to gank. But I'm going to look every 3 seconds, because so you start the wolves and it can be gankable, right? You can say, hey, it's gankable. But then when you finish the wolves, maybe it's not gankable anymore. So this can change.
Yeah, this is good mentioning it. Instead of this like 3-second strategy that he mentions, what I like to do is before you clear the camp, take a look on the lane that you want to gank. During you clearing the camp, you're looking, and right after you clear the jungle camp, you're looking. So you're looking 3 times at the lane you want to gank. Before, during, and after. You don't have to do it every 3 seconds.
Right? This can change. Yeah. Super important.
I know a lot of people like LS says like, oh, you just want to perma F key, like just get in as much information from everywhere as possible. It's like, yes, I mean, the more information the better, but if you can't process it and use it for anything, so then the information doesn't really matter.
Okay, right here, the gank. Okay. Good, you pushed it. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Good pillar.
You didn't really have the right tendency. Again, like, you're clicking here, so you don't really have the pattern of, hey, I want to push after ganking. Obviously, you really want to make sure you push it super fast, really fast.
Here, in this situation, there are 2 options. The first option is Qiyana recalls and Trundle holds the wave. Second option is they push together and full shove the wave and make the wave crash. Both options are viable, but we have to take into consideration we're playing in Plat, so probably what's going to happen is we're just going to push it. But this should also be mentioned that Qiyana can just recall and we hold the wave by last hitting it. Because then the wave is still going to be frozen right here. Because it's still slowly pushing, we just want to make sure that it doesn't crash into the tower and that we get some minions. But there are two options in this play.
Here, because this guy wants to recall, and she can't really recall unless she clears the wave first. So you want to help her out because she doesn't have HP. You pushed it. But right now you're leaving. So first of all, you should also stay for the cannon, like to get the cannon like really
Yeah,
low
he
and
should
take
help
it.
full
And
push.
second of all, is the wave going to crush?
You mean by like farming the cannon, like stealing it?
No, just staying it right here because Kiana is very low. So the cannon is...
This is like a common question. Should I take this CS or should I leave it? It depends on a few different factors. It depends on who gets the kill in this situation. He got the kill, so if you want to even out the gold more, then let Kiana get the last hits. But let's say you are playing with a tank. Let's say that this was... let's say Echo ganked Malphite, right? So Echo has Malphite mid lane, Malphite is going tank. Who should get the resources? Is it the Echo or is it the Malphite? Well, obviously it's the Echo, because Malphite is still good with low resources because he's a tank who's gonna frontline, press R, and be the main engager. Whereas Echo needs resources, he needs AP, he needs items to carry and to one-shot. Therefore, if it was Malphite and Echo here, Echo should just take as much CS as possible, and Malphite should just realize, okay, I don't need these resources anyway, I'm just glad that I got a gank and an assist, and I got to push my wave, and I got a free reset.
Has very much HP, right?
So it depends.
So you need to basically stay with her, get the cannon to like this HP.
In this situation, probably Kiana is the bigger carry than Trundle, so you should probably let Kiana get some of the resources here.
And then just leave.
Oh, okay.
It will take so much time for her to get the cannon. It's Kiana at level 2. But this is not necessarily the problem. The problem is that the huge mistake that he did here is that, look at this, look at the wave. Did the wave crash to the tower?
It didn't.
No, but why?
Because it took her too long.
True, and the next wave that is
and
right
the next
here
wave was coming, yeah.
came. So what should you do right here?
I should have stayed for another wave.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. But wouldn't that make me lose a lot of time because I lose gold? Because I don't take the minions, right? I should just put them low and then she kills them.
But in the jungle, XP is gold. So you're still taking something. You're taking experience.
Yep, this is
if you stay with her,
true.
right? And it's 249, so you're going to stay there until like 3-5, and then you can just get the scuttle. But you will have priority mid, and you will have priority top, so you can contest for top lane scuttle. If not, then you can just go for bot lane scuttle, so it's still fine. The problem is that...
No, he should never go bots scuttle here. He is basically done with bot side of the map because there's only scuttle crab, and the scuttle crab gives you 80 gold and very little XP. Whereas on top side, he has Raptors right here, both gives gold and experience. I think it's like 80 and a lot of experience. Then red buff that gives 100 gold and Crux that gives 110 gold. So he essentially has 300 gold worth of camps to do on top side, and all these camps gives experience, and on top of that he has 80 gold for the top scuttle. But he should prioritize not the scuttle crab, he should prioritize Raptors, or not Raptors because he's playing Trundle, but he should prioritize red buff and Crux for sure. And then after that, he can figure out, well, do I want the Raptors or do I want the Scuttle Crab afterwards? But he should not go bot Scuttle.
You want to make sure you have it in condition.
He can go for the top Scuttle if he wants to, but he should not go for the bot Scuttle, because bot Scuttle got reduced experience by 80%, the first Scuttle Crab. Every other Scuttle Crab, apart from the ones that spawn here at 315, you want to get. But the one spawning at 315, you don't mind giving up if you can get something else. Because most likely you can trade something that gives same amount of gold, but gives more experience.
My get my tempo, or, but I don't care about her and she lost mid, because the wave is frozen here, which is not good. Or you can be like, it's fine, I'm Trundle, let's help her. I'm not going to lose that much, I'm going to help her push, I'm going to get level 4 anyways, very, very soon. And you still have a lead, because you're level 4. That's 3 minutes.
Okay, I have a question. That's
In terms of the lead, because Echo is typically a champion that is gonna power farm, it will be roughly the same. Maybe he's ahead like by 1 level, level 3 compared to level 4 for like 5-10 seconds.
More of a general question, not in this situation. Let's say that I help her, and then Scuttle is spawning, so I go top Scuttle, but then Echo comes and something happens and he takes the Scuttle, right? So in that case, would you recommend going bot Scuttle? Then what should I do then? Or should I just go red buff,
Just go red buff. Just go red buff.
clear my Krugs, and then look for a top gank?
I mean, yes, you can go for red into Crux. Look at top gank if it's gankable. If it's not gankable, you could look at mid lane and see if that's gankable. If that's not gankable, then you could take your Raptors just to full clear, even though Trundle is really slow clearing them. But if you just save your smite for it, it's not that bad. Or you can just reset and then go to your Grump that will spawn on bot side by that point.
So first of all, I mean, this is like very variant question. Like it really depends on what's happening. So after you're pushing the mid wave, if you do have prio on top lane, you should still go on top on the scuttle if it's still available. Like if it's 330, for example, I wouldn't really get it. I would assume that it's down, then I would just go bot lane. But if it's like 320 and I'm...
Do not go bot scuttle. You can go for the top scuttle, yes. But the reason why you cannot go for the bot scuttle is because you have your entire topside jungle up.
I know that it's there. I will look at the priority top lane, and if I have priority, I'm going to go and contest it and try to take it. If I don't take it, then I'm going to go to bot scuttle, yes.
Okay.
No, just contest top scuttle.
So you would clear your red buff a little bit later, right?
A little bit later, because the scuttle is always priority.
Okay.
Right?
No, the first scuttle is not always priority. The scuttle caps spawning after 315 are always priority. Not the one spawning at 315. This is incorrect.
Okay. I mean, also like giving the usually. That's usually. In this case, you can just give up the scuttle. Just because again, question yourself: can the Thresh Kai'Sa when they have a Sona get ganked? Very unlikely, right? Very unlikely. But usually you just want to get the scuttle. Yeah, scuttle is priority. Okay, so here wave management mistake, map awareness mistake. 550. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. Okay, right here. So you go to. I don't like that after this one you didn't really check his Raptors, and you went on mid lane. You should check the Raptors first.
I was thinking of going Drake, and then I saw mid lane, so I decided to gank mid and then get Drake.
So yes, he could have checked Raptors because he can clear them fairly fast because now Trundle has Tiamat. Going for Drake as Trundle, I wouldn't suggest doing because your bot lane needs to basically go back to bot lane and start pushing. And mid lane is overextending, so you could go for the mid gank, but on top of that you also have your bot side camps up. So I would... Basically, your bot lane needs to get back into lane and start pushing and basically get prio in lane again. And then, in the meantime, while they're doing that, you can either go for the mid lane gank here, you can go for enemy Raptors because Echo is really low on HP, or you can go for your Wolves and your Grump and then go to Dragon. But you shouldn't go Dragon instantly. You play a little bit slower.
I want to give him, like, I know that I remember thinking that Raptors were probably going to be up, and I knew that that was an option, but I decided to go for Drake or the gank.
Or the gank, and you go for the gank right here. So we know that the Echo was low, right? So he just recalled. Where should he be right now?
Right now, in this moment, I would say probably. So he's.
Well, he should be pathing towards bot, but it depends on his CS because when he full cleared his entire top side and he didn't get the scuttle, but he got. He didn't get top scuttle, but he got bot scuttle. That means he should have 28 CS. If he has more than that, meaning 32 or 36, that means that he took 1 or 2 bot side camps and then he's pathing towards top. So we need to see how much CS he has.
He's spawning, so he should be maybe just out of base, I would say.
Yes, and where is he going?
He's going bot lane.
True, so right now you can actually just go into his jungle because you know that he's in base right now. You know that Drake is actually pretty far. You know that you don't really have that many camps on bot lane. And it's very, very, very free to invade him due to the fact that you have priority top lane and Malphite already died.
But what if, because the thing that I was scared, that I'm always scared about when I'm counter juggling is, what if I go there, that I find all his camps dead, and I just lose time, because it has happened to me sometimes.
True, but right now, then this is the problem right here. Look at him. So you need to track him before that. So right now he's on bot lane, right? He's on bot lane, and let's speed it up. Let's speed it up. So he's on bot lane. He's on bot lane. He's on bot lane. He stayed bot lane for a long time.
Yeah.
He gained mid lane. Like, what are the chances that his camps on top side are down, considering the fact that he spent like a minute?
They're about to spawn on top.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
So we need to
like
track
one
it
of the camps are
before
probably
that.
up.
They need to always like try to keep in mind, hey, what camps are
And the
up,
other one is
what
about to
camps are up,
spawn.
what camps are up, right?
But yes, you could
This is
invade
how
here.
you
I
play
think this
jungle.
is good. I think this is good mentioning
I
it.
try to do that, but I'm not really good at it because it's a thing I learned recently.
Yes. No worries. It's getting there slowly but surely. That's why you're getting coached.
And I had another question. Oh, so you're saying that it's more worth it to counter jungle and invade it than to take the dragon?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Why is that? I've always thought that the dragon.
Drake gives you. I just did a video on this comparing Rift and Drake. So Drake gives you 25 gold, which is basically nothing, and it gives you a small buff that isn't relevant. The only buffs that are relevant is soul. But on top of that, being at soul point is also nice. So the first dragon is more or less useless, second dragon is more or less useless. The third and the fourth dragons are the important ones. And then if you invade top, then you get 100 gold for the Grump, and you get 100 gold for the wolves. I think it's like 90 gold for the wolves, but basically you get 200 gold. So do you want 200 gold and more experience, or do you want 25 gold and a small team buff? And here, this is where you should be playing for yourself, and basically be saying, okay, I want the top side camps. But actually, he could also just take the Rift Herald because we're 8 minutes in, and the Rift Herald gives you 100 gold for taking it on its own, and 320 gold for 2 platings. And this is guaranteed. So this is actually the most amount of gold that you can get, is by taking Rift Herald. So that's actually the objective you also play for.
Is really important.
So usually in this situation, so it's not an always thing.
But this is actually not true because it wasn't up at the time when he mentioned it. Yeah. But after 8 minutes, you could have done it. But in that situation, he couldn't because Rift wasn't up.
I've always thought that Drake is really important.
So usually in this situation, so it's not an always thing. When you play League, it's never like always because again, like there are variations and it depends on what kill composition you have. Right now, it's better to clear his jungle just because we know that Echo and their team composition is just going to outscale completely yourself, right? So you need to get his jungle really fast, and if you get his jungle, you can still eventually get Drake. Why? Just because you'll always have prior bot, you'll always have the trash pressure against Senna, you'll always have a Kiana mid lane that can help you to the Drake. So it's not an urgency to get Drakes. It's better to just counter jungle because we are getting outscale, so we need to take their farm while taking the objectives.
Okay, so I should think about what's the because right now you said that they outscale us. We have a better early, so we should focus on early. So what's the more aggressive thing that I can do to get ahead?
Play Rift.
Which is not the Drake because that's a late game bonus. Let's say.
Yes.
Okay.
And Drakes are not really important that.
Drakes is scaling. If you get the first Drake at 10 minutes, then you get soul at 30 minutes if you get every other dragon. Meaning that it doesn't matter that you get it at 10 minutes. The thing that matters is that at 30 minutes you can get the soul. But 30 minutes into the game is very late. Whereas Rift Herald is instant. You get complete pressure with the Rift Herald usage for 3 minutes. And you're guaranteed to get 420 gold. And the most amount of gold you can get is 1550. If you kill Rift Herald, get 5 platings, first tower, and you break the tier 1 tower. Then you get 1550 gold.
That important in the very early game. That's the thing. If you have a soul, sure, but otherwise it's not. So counter jungle first before going for objectives, yes.
Okay.
Okay, good. So this is fine. Good. That's fine. I was also talking during the game. So here, this you got caught here. You were a little bit greedy with this play. I was also talking during the game. So when you're going to see the session one more time, you can also like hear my feedback with like for every decision that you took basically. So it's going to be amazing for you because you get double value of this. So I did this for you. No problem. Because I didn't just watch, I just was talking. Okay, good. So let's see. So 950 right now. You try to go around bot lane. So let's see if you're going to press tab here. And let's
here you should defend mid lane.
Press tab?
Unless, I mean, he can gank bot lane, which is
right
better.
Now you see how tunnel visioned you are. So you're looking at the lanes, you're checking the lanes. But the most important thing right now to identify which lanes you should gank is pressing tab.
Okay.
Because if you don't press tab, you don't know where should we go, what should we do, who is the strong. Because you see how tunnel vision you are. Like you're looking at a mid lane, sure, I love it. Then you're looking at top lane, sure, looking at bot lane, but right here, press tab. Who is strong? Who do we need to gank? who has items, right? Like right here we need to press tab. It was a beautiful gank.
Skipping bot camps for going for the gank is good because the enemy
like
bot lane is
0-4
pushing.
On bot lane, you need to ignore them on bot lane, even if this is the wave state. You need to gank mid and top. So
yes, this is
the
true.
tab, pressing the scoreboard and seeing what items does our team have, who is strong, who is not strong, who is weak, will tell you if you should gank them or not. Because if someone is like 0-3 weak, you should not gank them.
You should already know who is your strong side and who is your weak side before you get into the game. But if then suddenly your strong side goes 0-4, gets 1v1, 2v2 killed, whatever, then they're no longer going to be a strong side because they're behind, and then you need to come up with a plan B. So
you should gank them.
But yes, press tab to see who is strong. It's true.
So here, it wasn't good. I didn't like that it didn't press tab. And then after this, because at this point in time, you played
good
one of
pillar.
the biggest mistakes that you did in this game was the fact that you played too much on top lane and mid lane at some point. Like from this point in time, you should only gank bot and mid. Anything that is close to bot. Because at the moment, the Kiana didn't snowball. The Kiana is not as... Okay, you actually pressed tab.
Yeah.
The Kiana is not snowball. The Kiana is not really that strong. She's 1-1. Top lane, she didn't win it. So we have to be like, oh, so we had to win early. We had to win early. We had to win early. We're winning, but the kills are on who? On me and on Kai'Sa. I know that it's so rewarding. Yes, in the beginning, the win condition was mid and top. True. But it's not the...
No, because you need to compare it to this and this. It's hard for them to snowball, and I said this at the start. Yes, these two champions are really good for snowballing and carrying the game with them, but you need to look at who are they playing against. Can they technically snowball? Who can snowball harder? The fresh Kai'Sa versus MF Sona, or the Kiana versus Malphite, or the Akali versus Garen? Obviously, it's bot lane that is turbo snowball. You can get like 10 kills bot lane if you just sit bot lane and fresh hooks every time, or if they don't have flash and you press pillar.
Case anymore. Right now I need to think long term for the later stages. So that's why you needed to pressure bot lane, and you needed to put the Herald on the bot lane. Because yes, in the beginning you said you have win condition number 1 and win condition number 2. If they were 3-0, 2-0, ignore bot lane, only play with them. But they are not. That's the problem. Because they need to snowball. They didn't snowball. You need to give them up. You need to have the long-term win condition. So you need to have basically a get out of jail card. Someone that can give you a chance to win late game. Right here, that's Kai'Sa. Like Kiana is not going to win you the late game, right? Akali, same thing. And here, this you lost the game here, by the way. So you push this, you take this, sure. Sure. Good. Take it.
Kai'Sa gets the kill.
You have
Here,
the Herald.
here, just push in bot lane, put Herald, give as many resources into her bot lane that is our, well, win
The 3
condition.
plates are right here. You take the tower, you push another one, you take the Krugs, you recall, and then you guys are going to go top lane to play for the top tower. As 3 members. This is how you snowball to bot lane. Just one play. Just one play. So you need to look more to play around the lanes that are going to give you more agency in the game. The lanes that can influence the game. If in the early game it was top and mid, right now after 10 minutes, it changes to being Kai'Sa. Like Kai'Sa is the carry. You need to put your Herald, you need to put your resources, you need to gank her really hard. Kai'Sa. So that's what you should have done right here.
And this is again not a surprise, because when you just analyze the game, which you should do in Champions Select loading screen at level 1, you'd realize that you should be playing for bot lane in the first in the first way anyway, so you should be pathing from top to bot. We're not surprised that eventually it's our bot lane that becomes win condition.
Malphite basically. Yes, you got a flash, but no one cares really. Then look at the bot lane. Like they just recall without nothing.
Yeah.
Because if you get the bot tower, what does that mean? That means Thresh can also roam on the map and he can help you, right? He's the second jungle. Big mistake.
You can also rotate without killing the tower. That just depends on the wave. So, but yes, if the tower is gone, then you can roam more often. But he just mentioned that if you kill the tower, then you can go 3-man top, which yes can lead to another tower, and that's a good way of snowballing. But it's not typically going to happen in lower elos, like these lane swaps and whatnot. But it is good, and we also see it in pro play. But now he's saying that, oh, if you kill the tower, then Thresh can roam. Well, yes, that is true, but he should stick with Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa is the win condition. He cannot leave Kai'Sa alone, because Kai'Sa cannot solo kill Malphite. Malphite's just gonna press R on Kai'Sa, Echo's gonna be there, and she's dead. Same thing for Garen. Garen's just gonna press Q on Kai'Sa, and then E, R, and then Kai'Sa's dead. We cannot leave Kai'Sa alone.
More on the bot lane.
We can only leave Kai'Sa alone when she is in base and Fresh wants to stay. If he's like full HP and doesn't need to reset. Then Fresh can look for roaming on 1 or 2 waves and then come back to bot lane to help Kai'Sa.
Then you put the Herald on Kiana, but Kiana is not going to carry here.
Yeah, I put Herald. I put Herald just for to distract them and take Dragon.
Yes. Not bad, but again, it should have been placed like a lot earlier. Again, one of the biggest mistakes that you did in this game is also your inability of recalling at the correct time. You have a tendency to stay with so much gold.
Yeah, I know.
No, right? Like here, for example, you have 1.6k gold. Sure, you're staying around your team. This is fine. Could you take this? Sure. And then here, you should just recall.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you should take your blue buff because it's your big buff, and then you should just recall. Either just take it buff.
He doesn't even have to take blue. He can just reset because he has 1.8k gold, and then he can basically run towards his bot side, clear his bot side, one towards dragon if he wants to, or he can give up the dragon and just power farm his entire jungle if he wants to.
Or just recall right away. But you should never stay for the full clear. Like here, you're staying and staying and staying. You have so much gold. If something happens in mid lane and Thresh needs you right now, what are you going to do? Just go mid lane with 2k gold?
Nope, that's bad. You need to reset first.
Spend our gold because you're not so strong right now. You have a lot of kills, but it doesn't matter because you didn't have it. You didn't spend your gold.
True.
So always look to spend your gold. Don't do your camps if you have like 2k gold. Like of course, if you're one camp away of the Vine, for example, of course I will do the blue buff and then recall.
Yes.
But if not, then just recall right away. This is one of the biggest mistakes. And look what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, they're doing. You're getting Drake, and of course they get it because it's an overextension. This Drake shouldn't exist.
I mean, you cannot say, of course they get Drake. I mean, even if he spent the gold, it did not change that much. Yes, you will have Divine, Sunder, and Q proc, but you already have Sheen Q proc. It's not like, oh, of course they steal it because you didn't reset. But it's bad to fight here because, let's say the enemy team contests it and wants to fight and not just steal the dragon, well then you're a lot weaker. But saying, oh, of course they steal it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the fact that he has 2k gold right now. But if they lost the fight, then yes, that has a huge impact.
Right? Because you have so much gold. And then right now it's overextension. You see that? It's overextension after overextension after overextension after overextension. And you stayed again. And then here you actually should have stayed. Funny enough, after they overextended like 3 times bad, right here you should have stayed. Why? It's because he's going to get the tower, right? Yes, you have a huge amount of gold. You really need to recall. But if you recall and then you also lose the mid tower, which is, by the way, the most important tower in the game, that's not going to be good, right?
Yeah, the thinking here was I have a lot of gold. I'm hiding items. He probably has his ultimate because I didn't see him using it on Kiana. So I don't really want to mess with him. That was my thinking.
I mean, Trundle should not be able to die with both ult and smite, red smite up right now.
At the moment.
In the tower?
Yeah. Because I was really scared that he can just ult me, ignite me. Actually, did he have ignite?
No, he didn't. But yes, so he can't do it.
But I was scared of him.
Even if it ignite, he can't. He can't. Even if he has E, Q, R, ignite, he can't one-shot the Trundle. Even if you don't have ulti. First of all, your 20% damage reduction from smite is just so OP in the 1v1. And right here, you need to save the tower. Even if you die for it, you need to save the tower. Like, you don't want to give it for free. So you didn't know your limits here. Okay. Herald play 17. So let's see.
So there is 6 minutes left of the video.
Okay. Good. Okay, so you take the Herald. Sure. And on who should we put the Herald right here?
I mean, you need to take a look at the tower's HP, but opening up mid lane is more important than opening up top lane right now.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about the Herald play as well. Maybe mid lane would have been a better idea because there was no one, and we could have probably made him hit twice.
Okay, you mean like on the second tower, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, mid tower is always valuable. The thing is, the question is, who is going to win this game from this point? So let's see if you press tab. Yeah, exactly. Like Kiana is not going to win the game against Malphite. no matter how strong she is right now. And she's not strong. That's the thing. That's the problem. She's not strong. She already grifted. She already lost her chance to be the carry. So you should play with the
I mean,
carry.
she would get outskilled anyway by a Malphite.
This is not good. You should press tab and see who are your carries. So instead of putting the Herald on the Akali that can't kill the Malphite, can't kill the Garen, you should play with the Kai'Sa. With the Herald. And then also right here, a big mistake in terms of the Herald. So we know that the Echo is bot. We see him. Malphite just died. You get a kill on this guy. And you put the Herald, right? But after you put the Herald right here, beautiful. You should stay to push the second tower. Why? Malphite is mid. Echo is a bot lane. Sona is right here. The Garen is dead. You can push the second tower right here. Like if you're putting the Herald on top lane, you need to extend your lead. You need to always think about, hey, I want to extend the lead. I want to get more and more and more. And who can punish me? Well, no one can punish me because I see Malphite, I see Sona, I saw Echo bot lane, and Garen is dead for 23 seconds. So I have a lot of time to push this tower. So this is the reason why you can't close out the games. Because you don't know how to push that advantage to more and more and more and more. You get the Herald? Sure. You put the Herald on top lane? Sure. Let's get more. Let's get more here. Like always think about those opportunities when you can be hungry for more minions, more camps, more towers. This is one of the openings. Yes, it was bad that I didn't put the Herald on the Kai'Sa because she's the carry, she's the real carry. But overall, this is the concept that you should use. Okay, good. 19. Display right here. Again, you're staying with a lot of gold. You see this tendency of staying with a lot of gold? Like here, right here, you should recall. Like not in mid lane, in the brush. Like right here, you should recall.
Yeah, true.
Because you're staying and then you're fighting on bot lane, but what's the problem? Like right now, you're not having your items. Like you're super weak. Look at this fight. So you have 6 kills and a kill is 300 gold, right? How much gold are you, how many kills do you have if we know that we don't use 1.8k gold? So we don't have 6 kills. So what KDA do you play with right now? 0, 1, 3. So you're Trundle with 0, 1, 3. You're not 6, 1 right now because you're not spending your gold.
Yeah, good analogy actually.
Pay attention to your gold, and when you have a big component in base, let's say you have a Tiamat or a Divine, or you have like plated boots, or just prioritize recalling, especially if you have over 1.1k gold. Especially if you have over this buy.
For me, it's 1.3k. Because this can give you any item component. The most expensive item component in the game is BF Sword, costing 1300. So for me, it's 1.3k. For him, it's 1.1k. On a champion that goes lethality, obviously it's 1.1. For Trundle, he wants Tiamat first. 1200 is really nice, right? 80 carries is 13. AP champions could be 1250 for needs with large rot. Like it basically in this area, right?
Which is, you know, Shin Ruby Crystal. Usually. Yeah, super big one.
But even recalling with less gold than that is also completely fine.
Right here, like
if there's nothing to do.
So not only that you overextended with a lot of gold, but you also were pretty greedy with this display. Like this one.
Yeah, he was just run out.
Should have been a lot more patient. And then 24 right here. You asked me, hey, can we fight? And the question was, well, yes, so the question was, can we fight? And the answer was, no, we can't. And when you're fighting, you basically want to look, first of all, you want to look at your carries. So you have Akali as a carry, you have Qiyana as a semi-carry, and you have a Kai'Sa as a big carry. And Kai'Sa has 2 items right now with the AP build. So you have to think about your carries, how much damage they do. So they do, you know, relatively okay damage. But we're playing against Malphite and Garen. Who is going to melt those guys? Because Kai'Sa with 2 items, with this build, not going to carry anything. So here you should have said, hey, oh, Kai'Sa goes for AP build. This build is spiking at 3 items. She needs at least 3 items. If she had the Kraken Slayer Lord Dominic, then we can fight. We have a chance.
I mean, you're playing Trundle, so you can press R to steal their stats and make them less tanky, and then kill them with your team. So you could like deny one of them being tanky. So.
Yes. But she goes for AP build, so you should be like, okay, Kai'Sa is fucking useless right now. This build is for squishies. I mean, by the way, she fucked up the build really hard. Like this is just unacceptable for this elo. But it's fine. Like right here, you should just wait for 3 items. Once she's going to get the next item, right here. Because you can't really play. We can't really play with her with 2 items. 2 items, Kai'Sa can't kill Malphite unless it's AD Kai'Sa. So you need to pay more attention to your carries and their items. So your problem, Daniel, and I will be honest with you, you are a very good jungle, but you are not a good player. Wave management, identification of the win condition. What should your mid laner do? Do you have good general knowledge? Do you know how bot lane works?
There's like one last fight that we'll go through.
Jungle. You know how to counter gank. You know how to play around the objectives. You're pinging pretty well. You're kiting very well. I like how you play today. Not bad. But then if I put you to play some Aphelios on bot lane, if I put you to play some Kai'Sa on bot lane, or some Akali on top lane, or some Qiyana on mid lane, I don't think you're going to be the best player. And a jungle needs to be a good player, not just a good jungle. He needs to understand the game better. He needs to have a good understanding.
You shouldn't be able to play every role as a jungler. You just need to understand the lanes and the concepts of the lanes, such as wave management and matchups, etc. Because that helps you as a jungler basically have an easier time in the jungle, and basically being able to do better ganks, setting up your real carries better. So you don't have to be able to play those lanes, you just need to understand the lanes.
Basics of mid lane, top lane, spot lane. So this is what you need. This is what you need. You need to understand the game better in order for you to improve from this point. Because you're a good jungle. Like, playing only jungle is not going to help you that much. I do recommend you to, in your free time, if you can, play a bit more mid. Play a bit more top. Even AD carry. The problem is that you played mainly jungle, right?
No, I actually did play a lot of mid. I haven't played top in a long while, and I haven't played AD carry since season 7. I was main AD carry at the time.
What mid laners did you play?
I can play a lot. My champion pool is in mid is it's kind of big. I can play Syndra, Orianna, Echo, Zed, Fitz. I don't really like Fitz actually. I mean, I don't have the champions right now in front of me, but I can play more or less everything. Twisted Fate.
Yeah, also like another problem that you have. And did you play those like last season as well?
Okay, and then the session basically just ends. So, some of the things that he said was correct. A lot of good stuff, a lot of valuable stuff that you can take away from this. A few things that I personally just didn't agree with. And we didn't get a conclusion on did the game end up in a win or end up in a loss. I could imagine that it kind of ended up in a loss due to many different factors. Just the fact that enemy team composition was better for team fighting. Like, Malphite is massive for engaging. And then we had a bigger front line, and Echo can follow up, and MF ult on top of Malphite ult with the Sona. Like, basically, enemy team had a better team fight comp, so I could imagine that the enemy team actually ended up winning that game. But I think the most important thing to take away from this, which, again, I don't know if this was cut out from the session or not, is the entire, like, analyzing the game part. Now, from what I could see, it seemed like the first session was a live game coaching, where he's playing the game, and while he's playing the game, he's coaching him. And then after that, they're reviewing the game that he just played. And that was the part that we got to see. But if I'm live coaching someone, then I should tell them, you should be pathing from top to bot in this situation, rather than from bot to top. I think that was a huge mistake, not to mention, not go in depth about, because that could actually have been a game changer. So yeah, mostly it was good. A couple of red flags, personally for me, that I pointed out. So, but overall, not too bad. You can definitely learn from this guy for sure. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like. If you have any questions or disagreements with the way that I reviewed this coaching session or the coaching session that he just did, leave it in the comment section down below. I'd very much appreciate that. Or if you have any feedback. And if you like this type of content, then subscribe to my channel. That will help me out quite a bit. And then I hope to see you guys on my next YouTube video or in my next live stream on Twitch. So thank you for watching, and see you guys.